Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. We finally got the complete numbers in for Q3 2024 domestic box office, $2.664 billion. And I promised you guys, if the domestic box office beat my estimate, which I gave you back in July, of between 2.4 and 2.6 billion, that we would have a special domestic box office celebration. So we are going to be doing that live here tonight on the channel, 8 p.m. Central. Bring your champagne, bring your wine, bring your beer, bring your bourbon, whatever you want to celebrate with, and join us on that live stream. But in this video, we're going to go through my estimates using the profit and loss spreadsheet that I created to kind of get an idea of what might AMC be looking at for profit or loss for Q3 2024 based on this box office. So let's get right into that info. One thing that makes the Q3 box office interesting for this year is that revenue came in on 216 releases during the quarter. And for those of us that have a more optimistic outlook about the recovery of the industry into 2025 and 2026, if you look at prior to COVID, how many releases were coming out per quarter in the low 300 range, if you can imagine if the industry gets back to those number of releases over the next couple of years, how much dramatically improved the box office is going to be above where we're at right now. The executives in the industry, Cinemark, IMAX, AMC, are telling us that the next couple of years are going to be much better than this year. So we're going to take it quarter by quarter, but I think there is reason to be optimistic that these sort of box office numbers per quarter are just going to grow. Now, we are just starting Q4 2024, October through December. I have already taken a look today at all of the movies that are scheduled for Q4 and run my estimates for what we can expect for Q4 2024. I'm going to say right now, based on the information that I have available to me using all of my industry resources and the power of the interwebs, that Q4 2024 is going to come in very close to what Q3 2024 did. So I'm going to go with my estimate for Q4 2024 between 2.4 and 2.6 billion. I know some of you are expecting it to reach 3 billion. And hey, that is possible, and I hope that that happens. We will get updates, and I'll provide updates to you as we get to some of these big movie titles that we are expecting in Q4 24. And hey, let's cross our fingers and please go see a movie. Getting to my spreadsheet model, I input the Q3 box office numbers, the domestic box office, 2.664 billion up here at the top. You can see it there in the hot pink. And then the model uses different formulas that I have in here to calculate what the net income of AMC is going to be at the end of the quarter. And if you've watched my videos, we usually come very, very close with this model to what AMC actually reports. And we will get the official numbers from them in November. So this is just for you guys to pick apart, to complain about, to rave about if you love it, or to ask questions about. And I'm putting this model here. You've got 5 weeks to look at it and ask me questions, give me your inputs. I'm not saying that I'm going to get it exactly, but this kind of gives us a working model to talk about over the next 5 weeks. One thing that I want to make sure I make clear at the beginning of this video is I expect in Q3 that there will be some gain from extinguishment of debt that will increase the net income of AMC, increase the earnings per share. I am not calculating that on this model. That will be in addition to whatever numbers that we are looking at here. So whatever numbers I'm reporting at here, you might see a better number, and that would be the GAAP earnings. And then I would expect AMC is going to give us an adjusted EPS that will be more closer to what my model has, because it will factor out that gain from extinguishment of debt. Common questions that I get: Tony, are you factoring in popcorn and candy and Walmart and all of that stuff? Merch? Yes, everything is factored into this spreadsheet. The other question that I know I'm going to get is, what about the debt restructuring? I don't think that there's going to be any major interest savings from the debt restructuring impacting this quarter. I do think that over future quarters, we are going to see that the interest expense on the income statement is going to go down. I'm not making any major corrections or adjustments for that in Q3. That is my choice. That is how I'm modeling it. And that is a conservative way to do it. If I'm wrong, then the numbers will be even better than what I'm showing here. You'll notice that I have 3 different columns here on the spreadsheet for Q3 2024. I want to explain that real quick. If this is your first time here, it is difficult to estimate exactly what percentage of the overall market share AMC captured in any particular quarter. So I'm kind of using historical norms to give you a low, an average, and a high percentage of market share. And depending on where AMC came in, what percentage of the market they captured in Q3, we can get a range. And I'm going to make my official estimate the column here in the middle, the one in yellow. That's the numbers that I'm going to be using. But there could be some variation if AMC captured a little bit less of the market. You can see this middle column is saying that we captured 30% of this domestic box office. The low column is 28%. The high column is 31%. And for those of you that are wondering, why am I using domestic box office to calculate AMC's net income when they operate worldwide? Yes, I understand they have operations in Europe. The spreadsheet formulas I have in here are designed to extrapolate out the domestic box office, which is the bulk of AMC's income, and give us an overall picture for the worldwide income and expenses. So we're using domestic box office, but we are capturing expectations for the entire world for AMC. All right, without any further ado, I know you want to know, what is the bottom line? What are these 3 different results going to give us? So let's scroll down and see what we got. Looking at market share between 28 and 31% of domestic box office. Total revenue, I'm expecting to come in between 1.31 billion and 1.45 billion for AMC. After we take out the cost of that revenue, that will leave AMC with a gross profit between 225 million and $287 million. Next, we subtract the other category of expenses, depreciation and amortization, leaving AMC, in my estimate here, operating profit between $92 million and $154 million. And going down to the bottom line after we take out a couple more expenses, the cost of the corporate borrowings, we have an end result for AMC for Q3 2024 by my estimate of a net profit between $11.5 million and $73.7 million. I'm going to go with the middle of the road number, a net profit of $49.9 million as my official guess. Let me know what you think of that number, and let me know your guess down in the comments. What does that translate into earnings per share? I hesitate to show that number because I don't know for sure what number of shares AMC is going to report for Q3, but let's just say that they report 361 million shares. If we divide these numbers by 361 million, we come out with a earnings per share between 3 cents and 20 cents. And I'm going to say 14 cents. Because AMC has been increasing the share count, I don't want to get distracted in this video talking or trying to calculate exactly what the EPS is. It'll be what it is, depending on what they report as the average over the quarter of the outstanding shares. The real number to focus on is what is the net profit in terms of dollars. And we'll get the EPS number when they tell us what the share count they used to calculate the EPS is. We'll find that out in November. Remember, like I said, if there is a gain from extinguishment of debt, you could see numbers quite different, maybe quite better than what we are looking at here. What Wall Street is going to be focusing on, though, is the adjusted EPS, or the real operations data. The gain from extinguishment of debt is a non-cash gain. So even though that will be reported as the GAAP earnings, and it's going to be the number that everybody gravitates to, look how great this is. Wall Street, in their analysis of AMC, is going to be looking at these numbers, the adjusted earnings per share, the operations numbers. I think another thing that people are going to want to do is go back and look at quarters in the past where the domestic box office was similar, 2.6 billion, and we had 2 quarters like that in 2023. Let's just do that. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. We can see that in these quarters, this Q3, AMC captured 30% of the box office number, and in Q2, 27.79%. That makes a huge difference in what the bottom line numbers are on these two quarters. However, in both of those quarters, AMC reported a positive earnings per share. And I think based on that and the data that we have in the spreadsheet here, updated with all the current financials, it is very reasonable to expect that AMC is going to report a positive quarter this Q3 2024. So that's going to wrap up my presentation, my estimates for Q3 2024. Hopefully you found this useful. Let me know your thoughts, what you're expecting for this quarter. Remember that AMC is still a speculative stock while the company is repairing the balance sheet, as they've communicated to us for 3 years that they intend to do. You can probably expect some more debt for equity swaps. But the other thing that I'm looking at is Wall Street giving us accurate expectations. Right now, they are all forecasting negative earnings per share for Q3. I do expect that over the next couple of weeks, now that we got the final box office numbers, that the analyst might do an upgrade on earnings per share or net income for the quarter. I don't expect that any analyst will update or upgrade their price target for AMC, which is about $4 per share. I think they're going to play the cautious game and say, due to the risk of future dilution and the uncertainty over the balance sheet, we're going to keep our price target at $4. So they're going to do what they're going to do. I am making my own decisions. You please make your own decisions. I'm sure many of you are trading this differently than I am, because I am trading the stock. I'm not doing the long-term buy and hold until a lot of this balance sheet repair stuff gets out of the way. So I am holding AMC stock. My cost basis is around $4.40. I've been trading in and out of the stock profitably several times this year. That might hurt your feelings. Don't worry about what I'm doing, guys. You do your own thing. I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can at how I see these financial statements and how I am playing this stock. Thank you for watching. Go see a movie and join us on the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Central. I look forward to seeing you and answering your questions. Take care.